Well, good morning, Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and today is Monday the 28th, 2025 at approximately 12 noon Central Time. And I'm coming to you from what will be in not too long of a time, my new shave den. And so I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a shave video, reported on my life's circumstances. But let me just say right here that I've got approximately just a little bit better than 36 hours worth of growth of whiskers on my face, 48 hours tonight. It was Saturday night that I had my last shave, and I've been shaving right along. And as I've said many a time, all I ever use is straight razors, so I haven't abandoned my practice. But I don't want to say a lot about this. I may say more as the video goes on, but life never turns out the way you hope and expect it to, especially as you get closer to that magic retirement age, whatever your retirement age is according to Social Security, the Social Security Administration. And your old age pension, as they call it. And if you're like most people, you have not prepared adequately for that transition, and things happen, and you get caught with your pants down. And that's kind of what happened with me, and I'm still struggling to figure out what we're going to do. I was laid off, and the company that I worked for shut down completely and laid off all of its truck drivers, 15 of us, and shut down all 15 trucks that they had. And you've heard my stories about those trucks. Pause, equipment description that we're going to use today. I've been working my way through the, you saw me start it. I don't know how much I got on video, carrying on through it. But I'm using razor number 7 of my vintage mint collection. And so this is the Fritz Brock. Let's see if we can get that to come in. Tennis razor, Fritz Brock tennis razor. I'm not even going to try and pronounce what's on the front there. Let's see. There's a Fritz Brock, Solingen, Germany. And then the front side said tennis razor. Beautiful scales, beautiful inlay with the tennis. And so there's that 3-pin, nice acrylic, beautiful, beautiful. And Fritz Brock was bought out by Dovo, and some of those from the 50s, you can see there's just so much comparison from the Fritz Brock. I don't know why that won't come in any better. Anyway, there's that. The soap this morning that we're going to use is Martin de Condré's Rose. Very lovely rose scent there. And then the brush is going to be the Plisson number 30 millimeter High Mountain White Badger set in natural horn. So there's that. Now let's go ahead and get started on the lathering up. But as I was saying, things never work out the way you hope they would. My plan was to work for another 4 years. I am, as of today, I'm about 20 days. August the 18th will be my 66th birthday. And my official retirement age, according to Social Security, is 66 and 10 months. And so we're trying to figure that out, what we're going to do. I really don't want to retire before I have reached that magic number, because that puts me into a different program of retirement. That puts me into what's called early retirement, and you can retire early retirement as early as 62. But it's a reduced amount, and there's a schedule. If you've not seen, and if you've not created your Social Security login account to see what your official retirement age is, how much you're scheduled to receive at this present time, barring any future acts of Congress. But as I say, I was not planning on retiring at this age and before the official retirement. Now, I'm not going to go into all the numbers and so forth. Each person's kind of unique in that, based on how much you've earned and how many credits and so forth you've got from Social Security. But as I say, this whole episode of getting laid off, and you recall in previous that I got laid off from, well, actually, to tell the truth, I got fired from the former company that I worked for 13 years. But we found a job quickly enough in November, and was with a company that my former boss at the previous company had become the dispatch manager, terminal manager, and he was happy to have me. And as I say, there were 15 of us. What I didn't know at the time was that the company was on very shaky financial ground, and what led to its ultimate demise and shutdown by senior management was totally justified, in my opinion. And so, but the good news is I got unemployment that'll carry me for a little bit. But we put our house up for sale, and we're trying to, the realtor says that it's average of 60 to 90 days home on market in our neighborhood. It's a new development neighborhood as of October of 2018. And so the downside is I've got to get the house in what they call adequate marketable condition. And and the way they do that, they've already estimated it's going to take about $30,000, which I don't understand. It's maybe then a little bit of paint. It's in excellent condition. There's a couple of spots on the flooring where, but is one going to spend $8,000 to $10,000 to replace a floor just because of a couple of spots? I don't know what his plan is. But now the good news is there's been, in the 7 years, quite adequate appreciation value. It was a brand new house. We put all the modifications on it, and there are some that are considerable. But and so he's agreed to make repairs, get it market ready, sell it, and take the proceeds out of the sale price, assuming that it gets up to his estimated value of the house. And I get all that. It's just damn disconcerting that all of this has happened right now. And of course, you have, and then see, here, this goes back to something else that I was saying earlier, and that is, oh, by the way, this was honed up on the Norton translucent, and you've seen my Norton. But this morning's been the first time that I've had the gumption, the time to do a shave video and publish it later today. I just haven't much felt like it. And so we're going to, as I say, the house is up on the market. We'll see how it moves. But back in November, December, my wife kind of got bit by the bug that we need to get better prepared for ultimate retirement. And to her, that meant selling the house. But before selling the house, we did have, well, I'm not going to go into all that, but that, my wife says I'm kind of like a bag full of holes, that I will leak everything. Maybe that I shouldn't. But so we bought some land, got a very good deal. My wife is like a bloodhound. When she's got her nose to the ground, she can find stuff. Much better than I can. And so we found some lots. She negotiated. She did all that. I got some soft music playing in the background. And these lots were unfinished, meaning that they were well overgrown with brush and trees and up in the country north of Houston. And if you were to look at a map, between Livingston, Texas and Huntsville, Texas, US 190, you'll see Lake Livingston. And our land sits within a half mile or so of Lake Livingston. And so we had, well, again, without saying more than I probably should, so I don't know how we're going to land. I know we're going to land here. We bought the land, we cleared the land, we put a single wide mobile home on it. We built and found a guy who was willing to do the frame out on a front porch, and it's done. I'll include some pictures. So that's kind of it. It's been a heartbreaking, frustrating experience. It's going to involve taking a couple of big credit hits too, so that's going to hurt. After all that my wife and I have been through, both together and separately before we met. The master bathroom has a big mirror in front of me. You see the shower with the glass behind me. I will say that the sink is inadequate altogether, and there's just one sink on the counter. And so I'm using a big pot, a bowl, I should say. I'm using a big bowl. I'm able to fill the big bowl and get my hands down inside of it with all of my shave rag, towel, washcloth, my brush, and I can always pause the video, dump the water, refresh the water with hot water. I will say it's good in hot water. Now, as the guys cleaned and cleared the land, they mulched and chopped up so much. We've got just short of an acre. We got 5 lots. And 2 lots, 1 lot on the north end and 2 lots on the south end are still uncleared, and they serve as kind of a functional barrier. It's a very rural area. The street camera's going. The street in front of the house is barely paved. It's kind of broken up asphalt, it's old stuff. And I met the HOA, they call it a POA. up here. And asked them if there's any plans to repave the road, and they said no, probably not. I said, well, it's not so bad it's not drivable. It's easily drivable, and it makes for a good deterrent too, to come down. It makes it look like, and there's only one other house at the end of the cul-de-sac, but it makes for a good deterrent as well. Makes it look like it's nothing but nothing down here, and there really isn't. My house and the neighbor's house is about it. But this is let's see, let's put that there, this is kind of where it all, you work for 20 years. And I will say that the first part of my working life was, I was a pastor for 15 years. And it was not rewarding financially. And you can say what you will about what some people say about. I never took a vow of poverty. And our church didn't believe in that necessarily. But there was also no accommodation for the pastor. 401k, matching funds, etc. And so when I finally opened my eyes and said, this is ridiculous, and I still love my church, but I would never be a pastor again without certain guarantees on income and property and retirement. Of course, when you're 20 years old, you don't think about those things so much, and you think, I'll take care of that stuff later, and later sneaks up on you at 66 years of age. So what I've been doing, mostly, we've been packing. We spend like 3 or 4 days here, go back to the main house, spend 3 or 4 days there packing up boxes. The main house is now largely empty. We've got all of our personal belongings out. All of my shave gear is out. Well, it's important, I'll put up some pictures, and it's tight, I will say. We had so much room in the other house, and we used it. My wife is a little bit younger than I am, and so she's still working and not looking to retirement for several years yet. Yeah, I got a young hottie, I did. So we're going to have, we got the front porch built with staircase so we can get in and out of the place. The back porch has got temporary steps on it, but we're going to, my wife's been on the phone this morning figuring, getting somebody lined up to help us with building out the back porch. She and I finished off the front porch after the main framing and roofing was put on it. Treated lumber is what we're using right now. But what I wanted to say was, is that I've been cleaning off the backyard after the guys came in and cleaned it off, cleared it off, and mulched up all the saplings and 4-inch trees that were taken down. Oh, by the way, yesterday I went out the front door, put some empty boxes on the front porch, and as soon as I opened the screen door to step out, 2 big buck jumped up out of the woods right in front of the house, not 20 feet away, and scooted off across the road. Big, 4, 5, 6 point bucks. We knew there was a lot of deer up in here, and that's a good thing. But I've been clearing the land and burning refuse, what I've been doing. Mostly helping my wife as she... So we've been moving, packing, and like I said, 3 or 4 or 5 days in each place, scooting back and forth. And while I'm here, for me, my wife is dressing up. She's getting boxes unpacked and getting everything put where it belongs. And she's telling me, I want you to go clean up the backyard. Okay. Unemployment's going to start here pretty soon, so I'm not without some money right now. And then, depending upon what we do with Social Security, there is the possibility I may start early retirement after my 66th birthday next month. But if I can stall that off until June of next year, at 66 years and 10 months, there's a pretty good jump there. If I can hold till 70, that's 3 more years as of next year. It's almost $1,000 jump to get to 70. So we'll see what happens. And, you know, some of you might be saying, well, the obvious answer is to go back to trucking. Yeah, obvious is not so obvious or desirable. At my age, I may not, I've been talking to some people, I may not get hired to begin with. That's number one. Number two, I'm certainly going to be treated as a first-year rookie going to any new company. And it means I'm going to get all the crap loads. I know it. I just know it. I've already talked to some of these people. Oops. Now, I will say that I don't feel much like I'm retired. I have a lot of anxiety about this whole thing. And there's a whole lot that has got to go right. And it's going to probably take me first selling the house and getting completely moved up here. We got the movers coming in a couple of weeks to bring out the big stuff. We got a house sale or estate sale that we're going to have and liquidate a lot of our stuff. And that's heart-wrenching as well. For all the Christian talk, and I'm, whatever state you find yourself therewith, be content. 1 minute you're flush, the next minute you're flat of your back. And it's just difficult to decide what stays and what goes. And what I meant to say, started to say, was that your working life and what you earn and the money. Why do we earn money? Well, to get the things that we need to live with. And hopefully one day in our lives, we reach a certain level and state that we got money saved up for retirement. And to meet our daily daily needs as we have defined our life up to that point. I have never been one, for example, just to buy and sell stones and razors. I buy what I want and I keep what I want, which is to say I don't sell anything. I don't see myself as that kind of a hobbyist. Anyway, that's just me. And I've talked a little bit about that over the years. I've got stuff that's been given to me that I don't use and don't really want, but I've got it. I don't know what to do with it. But I'm holding it for now. Now next bit is part of, over the last 2-3 weeks, this is what I've changed in my routine. I said, I don't need to do that. I used to do a left-handed, I'd begin my against the grain left-handed and come up like this and do left-handed and get about halfway through my face. And then I'd relather my face and I would come back right-handed and do a overhand. And that's what I'm going to do. Without doing the left hand. My face comes out just as clean, just as well shaven, and I don't need that left-handed motion. So I'm taking an easy day today. The last 2 days, we came up here on Friday, and I worked hard in the backyard. Yeah, I think of Don Corleone in Godfather 1 at the end of the movie, or not end of the movie, but where he dies in the garden. He's out there working in his tomato plants. And has a heart attack. And my wife took some pictures of me and I'm going, oh my goodness, how much do I look like that? And so I really exhausted myself yesterday and the day before. And with all the safety training classes that I've had, I recognize heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And I was well into the heat exhaustion. I was taking breaks every so often. It's, you know, how hot and humid it can get here in the Texas Gulf Coast region. And so we're about 2 weeks out from the movers coming to move our stuff. We're approximately 78 miles, to be approximate about it, from the old house to this house. And the amount of stuff that we've got and the weight or approximate weight, they've given us a quote and we said, okay. The realtor is anxious for us to get vacated from the house as soon as possible because that's the way he wants to show it, vacated. Okay, fine, whatever you want. You know, but this whole experience with the house has just made me so perturbed that houses are not houses to be lived in. Houses are showcases that at any given moment you may have to vacate and put it on the market, and it must be in showroom ready condition. For example, when you buy a house, typically, the color of the walls, the paint job on the walls, is usually a neutral color, a beige or off-white or something. Well, when we moved in 7 years ago, my wife got a painter to come in and paint accent walls, marigold, a reddish mauve color, deep forest Kelly green color in the kitchen, and the living room was a distinctive brown or tan color. Nope, all that's got to go. Well, I'm sorry. Does nobody sell houses as is anymore? And I don't mean, well, yeah, I do mean, if there's some work that has to be done, you adjust the price accordingly and sell it, and the buyer gets I don't want to really call it a fixer-upper. It's not that bad. Come on now. 2 old people have lived in it for 7 years. And so this morning, as I was getting ready to set up for the shave, I watched Jared, most recent couple of videos. And I'm getting ready, when I get done with the shave, I see that Greg Gallant has got a video up, said it's a shave video, and it says that the razor was honed with the Zulu Gray. And so I'm anxious to see that and see what he's got to say about the Zulu Gray. I'm a big fan, a huge fan of the Zulu Gray. And I've never been one to really experiment with a lot of exotic hones. I haven't done that, but I've got the Shapton Glass series. I've got the Mycoticals, and I'll say that more about that in a minute. My Arkansas, I absolutely love my Arkansas. I got the True Hard, I got the Hard Black, Surgical Black, and I've got, and both of those are Dan's Whetstone. And then the third one is what this one was honed on, which is the Norton Translucent. And then I got the Zulu Gray. Oh, and I've got a Belgian blue Whetstone. But I hardly ever use it. But now in retirement, I may have more time to get to that. And I got that in the conical class of conical class of stones, because it's garnet based. Belgian blue Belgian blue Whetstone. BBW, Belgian blue Whetstone. Okay, let's. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've made a video. Even for the last little while, I've been falling way behind for lots of different reasons on watching everybody's videos. And I apologize for that, but life just, you know. Oh yeah, that just feels fantastic. I've been using, and I'll say more about this as we get on as well, I've been using shaving bombs a little bit more to try what I've got out. And I got a bunch of stuff, you know, packing up all this stuff. I've had to make adjustments. But it's also reintroduced me to stuff that I forgot I had. All right, there's the Martin de Condé rose with lid. We're going to close that up now. Set it aside. We're going to do the head shave. And we're going to use this old Bengal Sheffield. I don't know if you can see it. Sheffield, T.R. Cadman and Sons, Sheffield, England on the backside. Anyway, that's what it is. Somebody ground off the back heel here, I guess in an effort to try and make it Camisori-like. I don't know. There's also some oddities up here around the tip, the way it's, this may have been a larger, it looks like a 6/8 or so. It may have been large, it may have been rust or something. And they reshaped it, ground off that edge and reformed the edge. I don't know. But I had occasion, just here in the last few days, I thought I'd try, you've seen me hold up my cauticles. I've got a Cauticle A that I just absolutely love. I think I've got it understood for my different razors and steel types, stainless steel, C135, carbon steel, carbon song, et cetera, et cetera. And everything I have used that Cauticle A on, admittedly, I've had to come back on some of them 2, 3, 4 times, but eventually got them right. And so, but what I have not used much, hardly at all, and when I did, I was not satisfied. And so I've always heard that the Sheffield razors take to cauticles very easily. And my experience has generally been that's true. Most of my cauticles, though not all, Sheffields are honed up. On the Cauticle to good satisfaction. And so I honed this one up, changed it from Cauticle A to Cauticle B. And not that there's any particular, I do not know of any significant differences in terms of what mine or quarry or vein they came from. Oops. And I've never been one. My conversation years ago with the fella up in Massachusetts, the Perfect Edge. I can't think of his name. SCH something. He wasn't a big believer in vein designations. He said all that really matters is whether it's select or non-select. And I don't know if that's the same attitude that Ardennes, the seller of Cauticle stones, takes or not. I don't know. But that's kind of what has served me. Not that I'm a big a connoisseur. I'm not a big buyer. I bought one, I bought two, had one given to me. I did buy the little travel stone from Jared, and it's a beautiful. It's as good as my Conical A, if not better. And I only wish I had it in full 8x3 size instead of 4x2 travel size. And so I had 2 sessions, one on 2 different days, back to back. On the Conical B with this razor, and it shaved fabulously, both on the face. I did do a face shave. And I did spend enough time on the stone to distinguish the edge that had been on it from the new one that I was putting on it. Yeah, I feel just fabulous. So I'm taking the day off today because I worked myself yesterday a little too hard, to the point of heat exhaustion. I did stop. I should have stopped when I took my last break, but I took my last break, came into the house, got some water, rested for 10, 15 minutes, and went back out. I shouldn't have done that. Should not have done that, because I almost fell down a couple of times. I said, uh-oh, I might be in trouble here. And so I sat down outside. And from the guys that came out here and cleared the land, they cut down or came across some of these felled trees, and they made stump pieces, log pieces that are like 3 feet tall, and suitable for sitting on. And so when my wife and I saw those, we saved them. We didn't throw them away, or we didn't burn them. And so we did roll them as best we could to the outer edges of the cleared property, and kind of set them up out there to get them out of the way. But I rolled one in closer to where I was working, and makes for a nice little seat. Well, the telephone company, internet people, came out and set up the internet on Friday, which was a blessing. We were we were using Wi-Fi and our iPads and our iPhones with our Verizon Wireless as hotspots to do streaming television. And boy, we burnt up some data, I will tell you. But it was all part of the package and blah, blah, blah. And so we didn't hurt ourselves any too much. Well, we didn't hurt ourselves at all. We just exhausted. We got text messages that says, you got 10% left on your package. Oh, we just stopped using the hotspot because we have unlimited data, internet, etc., minutes on phone calls, etc., unlimited. But I was under the impression that I didn't realize that the hotspot had a separate data plan, or that was included with your unlimited, and it's like 100 gigabytes or something. But after 3 or 4 days of a couple of movies at night, your data plan was exhausted, both on all your devices. Each device has a hotspot, can be used as a hotspot, and has its own separate data capacity. I won't say data plan, but data capacity, I guess. Oh, that's just slick as can be. Conical B did just fine. I can't say I'm going to use it any more than my Conical A, and I don't know, we'll see. With retirement at hand, there's no telling what I might do. And I may take all my razors, my 70-some razors, and one at a time, hone them all Conical A, Conical B, move over to Arkansas, all true hard, all surgical black, all translucent, move over to the Zulu gray, and do them all one at a time. And so how long do you think that would take? Probably about as long as it would take to use up all 10 jars of my Martin de Condre shaving soap, and I will probably be long planted before that. Not to mention the numerous other soaps that I have as well. Yeah, getting a little long on the video, and I apologize for that, but you can run it fast. Do a head shave, or face shave and a head shave, and that's all right. That's a conical bee. I'll show it to you sometime. I'll break it out. When we get the back porch, and you'll see from the pictures that I'm going to post up on our new residence, that the front porch is nice and spacious. And we're making plans now that our back porch shall be even more spacious, or by about, 25%, I think, is what we're talking about. But be that as it may, more spacious. Okay, so there's that for the head shave. Now we're getting ready for the refinements. Plisson number 20, 30 millimeter high mountain white set in natural horn. I'm going to set it into the water, let the soap begin to rinse out and melt into the water. I'm going to use it to rinse my face here in just a minute, or moisten my face. For the alum block, and the reason I do this now is just simply because there's a lot of goodies in the soap that are just fine on the face as a part of the rinse process, I guess. I hadn't hurt me yet. Ozma alum block, right there in my hand. Okay, let's set that aside. I don't want the alum to come anywhere near my steel, my blades. Okay, now that we've done that, now something I've been doing, I've been clearing out all of my samples. I did that some time ago with my shave soap samples. Now I'm doing it with some. I've never been a big user of the little face bombs that the vendors will send you when you buy something. And so these are the last two items I've got left from vendors. And I can't even tell you which vendor it was, but this is a George Trumper Coral Skin Food. And so, and this is probably just a little better than halfway full. And I claim no knowledge of the proper order of application for these things. So my first application is the skin balm. right there. And so just take a glob of that. And you know what? I should have put on, and I didn't do it, the Thayers. And so we will omit the Thayers today. So Thayer, alum block, my routine of late has been alum block, and then either the Thayers or Lucky Tiger. Those are my skin tonics. Followed by the balm, whatever I'm going to use. And I've got 2 larger bottles up in the cabinet, and then these little samples that I'm trying to get rid of. And then followed by an aftershave, which in today's instance is going to be Lime Sec from Panade. I got a lot of this. I got like maybe 5 or 6 bottles of this in reserve in my other cabinet. I've got so that goes on top. And I probably just, it still leaves my skin with a silky feeling like the balm's supposed to do, I believe. But I'm sure that putting the alcohol on top of the balm is not the best way to go. I can't answer that question, what the appropriate order of things is. And I've got so much of these aftershaves that I don't mind putting it on thick and heavy. All right, there's that. And there's that. And now the next little trick. Now I've been using the Panade Clubman powder, cornstarch. It's not talc, it's cornstarch. And I would pour the cornstarch, the powder, into the brush. And I've been using this brush for a good little while. And so, but and it would always come out as a big bomb, boom. And I, even watching Bill M. and his little squirt bottle, and then putting it into a towel and dampening it, dabbing his face. What I have done after using the brush a number of times and make sure that it's kind of empty, or take it outside and knock it out, so that's kind of pretty well empty. What I have done is I've had this extra wood bowl laying about, and it dawned on me to take this a bowl and put a little bit, not a lot because I don't want to waste it, but a little bit of the powder into this bowl, and then take my brush and just dab it. Well, no, I tried to do too much. Yeah, that's better. Just hit the tips into the powder. today's going to be a nice, relaxing, restful day. And so I will get to enjoy my refinements instead of going outside and sweating them off in the first 15 minutes. Oops, no. There we go. And there you have it. Thank you for staying with me this long. I know it's been a long video, but you stayed with me, and it's been a while since I've gotten one posted up. So thank you, and I'll keep you posted and let you know how my descent into purgatory goes. See you down the road.